All right, ready to roll. Here's D-Boy. Hi, this is D-Boy from West Coast Uncensored. Let me move my glasses. Maybe you guys could see me a little bit better and I could see good enough. I need it on reading small things, but here we go um, into this. I'm sorry I haven't been with you guys here. We go on because we're going live on different platforms again. Has westcoastuncensored.com. It is our website, and also we're on Anchor, and Anchor is connected to Apple and to the other platforms that it's connected to. So we're coming to you to talk about a little bit going on with West Coast Uncensored, D-Boy. Westcoastuncensored.com, again, is our website. The best in sports, the best in professional wrestling. And as you can see in the professional wrestling, got my Cody shirt on, if you can see it. I'm going to cover my head if you go a little bit, but good stuff, man. West Coast Uncensored coming at you live tonight. I'm going to cover a little bit as West Coast Uncensored covers everything national, West Coast, and national. We've been covering the National Football League as we in the playoffs. We got some stuff coming up because we got the big championship games this Sunday, but there's a lot of news I want to back cover for this week as there was just a lot going on in my job, and I've just been really busy doing some other things, squaring away the new year and getting on the road. And I want to get some of this stuff done earlier in the week, and I couldn't, but I got Friday night, and I'm going to do a few of these tonight and get it squared away, and then we're going to head into the NFL for the weekend. We're going to talk a little bit about tonight. We're going to jump on the very first thing as we left off on Sunday. We're going to jump on Monday, and we're going to jump on Monday as we just seen the national championship last Monday. And if I could say something about this on West Coast Uncensored, definitely LSU proved that it was a championship team. I mean, I kind of, going into that, was definitely leaning a little bit towards Clemson with its experience, with its coaching staff and all that went with it, and their fourth straight trip to this national championship game. And after the early start, and I thought Brett Venables did a great job in adjusting and throwing the first 3-4 possessions, really stopping and really slowing down a quick start by LSU. But man, halfway through that second quarter, after LSU got going, Clemson had taken a 17-7 lead, and in that middle of that second quarter, after that 17-7 lead, man, things just changed. A bombardmentship of Joe Burrows and that offense. And great defense. People were talking about they couldn't match up defensively. And through the season, we've seen times where LSU's defense did have its problems. But when they got people back from injury, and I'd say the last 4 to 5 games regular season, the SEC championship, you've seen every week that they got a little bit better at defense, and they got a little bit better the next week at defense. Especially after the Bama game, they just continued to get better and progress on defense, and they got people back, and you see their defense get solid and more solid every step they were taking towards the end of the season, and then into the SEC championship game. And then they didn't play no bluffs. I mean, in the semifinals, they played a very maybe the Oklahoma can't hang in the defensive end, but Oklahoma's offense is very talented, and LSU stymied them and slowed them enough, and beat them by 35. You give up 28 points to Oklahoma like LSU did, and a lot of that was garbage time because Oklahoma had blown them out. Oklahoma just started showing its defense, and this reflected into the championship game. Around midway through the second quarter, you look at the scoreboard, and it looked, for them who were looking at Clemson, thought maybe Clemson was on its way 17-7. They'd taken a lead. They did a reverse, and that reverse, Higgins took it in, and it was 17-7. And I believe Clemson was feeling good that they could possibly even reverse this as maybe a blowout and take good control. But that's where the game completely changed. LSU, Burrow had a big pass to Chase. They got down. They scored quickly, made it 17-14. And it's just at that time, after they answered very quickly after falling behind by 10, this momentum just flipped completely, where LSU dominated, went on a third. From then on, after trailing 17-7, they outscored Clemson 35-8 the rest of the game, going away. Hats off to what LSU did, Joe Burrows, and the Clemson, the Tiger faithful, and from Baton Rouge. Clemson, I mean, LSU closed out big time, winning the national championship, setting themselves up for the just a big game by Burrow. Like I said, after being 17-7 and Venables making those adjustments, Venables is a very, very good defensive coach. But when they adjusted back, Venables had no answer anymore. LSU was able to move the ball pretty much every possession after that, score points, and they finished off drives with touchdowns. And as we've seen in the Ohio State game and through all year, one of the big things that Clemson's defense was really rated high at was stopping teams in the red zone. But, man, they did not stop LSU, got in the red zone. LSU got the touchdowns, and LSU pretty much from then on buried them. There was a little life in the third quarter after LSU finished that second quarter off with 21 straight points and took a 28-17 lead in halftime. And I thought if Clemson was going to get in the game, but I really felt Clemson was in trouble. I just seen the way the game flip and the feel of the momentum. I thought LSU really had flipped this game, and I thought Clemson was in trouble when they got that last touchdown to make it 28-7 at half. And I definitely thought at this time, man, things had changed, and I really thought Clemson was in trouble. The hope was that they would go in the second half, get a stop, and get a touchdown, which they did, and they cut the game to 20. They went 2, and they cut it to 28-25, and I said, okay, this could be a barn burner. Clemson's defense actually made its second straight stop in the second half, got the ball back, but was not able to complete the comeback. They couldn't go down and score and take the lead, and then after that, 2 straight possession touchdowns. Burrow's finishing off the drives, getting the running game now involved with the running back, and they just in the passing game, and they just were just too much to handle. And then they walked away after that. And really, Venables did not have an adjustment to stop them. And then their defense really, 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 LSU's defense, I had never seen so far in his young career. He's still got one more year of eligibility, and he has to stay one more year. He's only a sophomore. Trevor Lawrence really I thought LSU's defense with its pressure really had got Trevor Lawrence in a place that he never had been in his college career. They had him kind of stymied. He had like 14 or 15 overthrows in the game, so that tells me they were in his head, and the pressure that LSU was able to put together on their defensive packages and their blitz and their pass rush had started wearing on Trevor Lawrence. They had shut down in the second half. They really had shut down ETM and the running game, and there was no balance for Clemson. And Clemson never could, after cutting the lead to 3, could never gain momentum. And then LSU just kind of just dominated and won going away 42-25. And Clemson, the 25-game winning streak came to an end, and it was really just you had to hand it to LSU. They took it to the best team the last few years, which is not Alabama. It's been Clemson. Clemson beat Alabama 2 out of the 3 years that they faced them, and then Alabama wasn't in the playoffs, and it's Clemson. And this will probably continue to be Clemson, but it's about LSU. I'll go into that in a little bit because they got some little things going on here I want to kind of bring up because there's some kind of big news going on and just kind of the overall thing I've seen. But I have to give it to LSU and Coach O. USC. You let Coach O go. Bad management at USC, and it continued, and move after move foiled you guys. And then Coach O goes to LSU, goes to Louisiana State, and brings them that national championship. Coach O's arrived. He's brought it. And Joe Burrows, it's a storybook. You can make a movie out of the whole Joe Burrows, Coach O story at LSU. What's happened here from the beginning of their careers to where they ended up and winning a perfect 15-0 season, capping it off with that national championship win over a dominant and former champion Clemson. So for me, that's really, really dominant, and hats off to that. Just a big win. That was Monday night. A little bit I wanted to say about that was the fact that after the fact, what's happened a couple days after that is they had brought in Brady, and they had hired the Brady, the OC at LSU, and he's already taken an NFL job. And now the head coach, defensive coordinator at LSU is now taking a head coaching job at college. So Brady took the Carolina Panthers offensive coordinator job immediately, just a couple days ago, and now the defensive coordinator looks to be, I don't think it's finalized as of yet. I could be wrong, but from what I know, not finalized, but it's going to happen. He's going to be the head coach at Baylor because Rule is leaving to go to the NFL, the head coach in the NFL. So immediately Coach O's coordinators are gone. And that's kind of what happens in big time college football is that you have success and your coordinators go. It's kind of what's been the downfall of Saban's, probably their foundation. They're very good. They're not bad. I just don't know that they're that dominant team. The team has not lost its coordinators that moved on. It's Clemson, and as far as I know, this Friday night, Clemson's coordinators are still in place. They're not taking any jobs and haven't gone anywhere, so which is another sign that Clemson's on that horizon with the #1 recruiting class. To see Clemson back and not see LSU back wouldn't surprise me because now Coach O's got to go find him some coordinators, and I believe he does, man. I really got to like Coach O, good guy, great recruiter, just a good guy, good heart, and what he did there. But, it's just the way it goes with when you're dealing with the NCAA now and you have success on that high level. Your coordinators go, man, they get jobs. You win a national title, you have success, and especially what they did offensively and then how the defense finished it off. That's got to be noticed, the way the defense, and I can see a little bit. I can see Baylor's mindset. I do like Baylor's mindset. They're bringing in a defensive coach because if anybody in that conference, that's a conference where you see a lot of points. You see a lot of teams score points, and that's been the downfall for Oklahoma. They get in these playoffs. Oklahoma's built to win that conference, the Big 12, but then they flip it and they go into the playoff mode against SEC teams and against Clemson. They're not built to deal with them because their defense is not good enough to deal with the SEC or the Clemson Tigers. But Oklahoma's good enough now. With the head coach, the defensive coordinator of LSU going there, maybe Baylor's thinking, we bring in a defensive guy to replace Rule, who's going to the NFL. It's a little change for our conference. Now, if we can become the best defensive team in the conference, still keep a good offensive coordinator, produce points, but we become the best defensive team in the conference, maybe we got something cooking here. Just a thought. But congratulations. This was about LSU. Tigers beat the Tigers in the national championship game. Congratulations. A little bit of college football news, West Coast style. USC, the good part of the change of this year was Graham Harrell producing that offense and taking it up from where it had been. He did that. If there's anything good about the USC, they didn't finish 5-7. They finished 8-5 with their bowl game loss. But the biggest production plus for the whole year was what Graham Harrell did with the USC offense. And that's been noticed. Well, here's what's happening. Graham Harrell is interviewing as offensive coordinator to the Philadelphia Eagles. Now for USC, that's, if you lose him, USC, what do you got? If there's anything to say, we got something. It was Graham, and he is interviewing for Philadelphia, who was turned down by a couple other people they interviewed. Will Harrell jump on his chance to go to the NFL? Because from what I understand, he's interviewed or he's getting ready to interview maybe as early as tomorrow, or maybe he did it today. I'm not so sure on the timeline of this yet, but the rumor is out. And if Carroll was going to take the Eagle job, what would that do to the Trojans? So the USC mess continues, and if Harrell leaves, this team is in complete disarray. Even the little bit of foundation the Trojan fans and the West Coast Uncensored or USC fans could grab a hold of and say, this is the positive, is they're still looking to hire a D coordinator. They may lose their offensive. Graham Harrell could be going pro. So that's kind of what's going on. But we'll end with that. That's a college football wrap-up. The college football season is over. There is one more day. It used to be February, used to be the big day of recruiting a college football. It's not. It's going to be the last recruiting day, as the early signing thing has kind of trumped the February traditional day that we all looked forward in the past. Now has been kind of changed, but there is one more that February signing date coming in the first week of February. Otherwise, college football is done. And the recruiting is still on the line because now it's about the recruiting and this February signing before we go into spring football. So for West Coast Uncensored, for a little bit, we may have some specials on some college football and the recruiting thing coming, but most 80% to 85% of the main stars for signing the early did. The February's not the early. There are still some guys out there for some teams to grab and finish off their recruiting class, but most of it is done. As for West Coast Uncensored, this is D-Boy coming at you and telling you, you know what, WestCoastUncensored.com is now we have a .com. We're kicking everything off on WestCoastUncensored.com. We're on other platforms. We're going. We got YouTube. We got a Facebook. We got a Facebook group. Getting ready to do a Facebook page. West Coast Uncensored. We got the website. It just kicked off. We just within 5-6 days of the website. WestCoastUncensored.com. Hit that up. We got videos. We got all kinds of stuff. We got stories. We got videos. We got pictures. The best in professional sports and college sports, and the best in professional wrestling that you're going to find. West Coast Uncensored. You guys have a great day.